When I first watched Akira, I was about 12 years old. When you're in 6th grade, things don't really get absorbed the same way they do when you're an adult. I didn't really get it, and I never really tried to get it. I didn't really care, to be honest with you. The animation and art design are spectacular, of course, but never did I really comprehend what it was actually trying to say. So, on my 20th birthday, I decided to watch the film from Katsuhiro Otomo that I had neglected for so long. Steam Boy. It was okay. Animation was on point, story could use some work, but it got me thinking about another one of his works, the famous Akira. Immediately after watching Steam Boy, I demanded my brother put on Akira. It wasn't just the absolutely jaw-dropping animation and the genre-defining cyberpunk aesthetic. Everyone points to that as the main reason as to why Akira is a masterpiece. Even the film snobbiest and Scorseseist of film shits that claim they watch anime all point to this one as a masterpiece. But rarely am I ever personally given an immediate reason as to why that is besides those two things. So I turned to myself to see what was in this thing that was so fantastic. And it's one single thing. The theme. Theme is hard to get right. It can't be overstated, yet it can't be too subtle, or it won't be communicated to the audience well. But Akira nails it. It's said that Akira himself isn't necessarily a thing in the same way we are. Kei states that Akira had become the very essence of intersecting ideological rivers of knowledge and thought, of behavior and speech. Energy. The energy that flows between all of existence.
Humans do all kinds of things during their lifetime, right? Discovering things, building things. Things like houses, high-speed trains, motorcycles, bridges and cities, rockets. So where do you suppose all that knowledge and energy comes from? Maybe there was genetic material in the air and water, even in the particles of dust in space. And if that's the truth, then what sort of memories are hidden within them? The beginning of the universe? Or maybe even before that. And what if everyone shares those ancient memories? What if there were some mistakes in the progression? Then something goes wrong, like an amoeba is suddenly given the higher powers that a human has.
Essentially, the omnipresent iotas that course and pump its way into everything that is and was. Everything that will be or can't be. Just pure energy.
Just pure energy.
The energy of the universe. The great in-between. In my life, there's something I've observed brought up sparsely. That something is called mana. Mana in Polynesian culture is essentially everything that Akira is. Mana is the unending power and energy that binds us, a supernatural divine authority that dictates strength, sacredness, general spiritual presence, a lifeblood that runs through all that is, something us humans cannot see in the same way you can see the screen you're watching this from. It's something that I first remember hearing about in the Heisei Gamera trilogy directed by Shusuke Kaneko. Mana, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, is defined as an impersonal supernatural power which can be associated with people or with objects, and which can be transmitted or inherited. Mana is even in the Bible, though spelled differently. It generally means something hauntingly similar. In Deuteronomy 8:3, it states, "And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live." In John 6:31, it states, "Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat." And in John 6:48-51, "I am the bread of life. Your ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, yet they died. But here's the bread that comes down from heaven, which anyone may eat and not die. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. This bread is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world." From these texts, It seems to me that mana, at least in the Bible, is not only the literal bread and dew bestowed upon man directly from the heavens, but it is also the heavenly energy supplanted within all of us, the life of the world, which in this context is the metaphorical/literal flesh of God, as well as his word. Akira seems to me to be about mana, and the impunity that is carried out when man himself seeks to either control or fully comprehend his power. Man's insistent need to direct everything it comes by for its own boundless curiosity is what causes the apocalyptic disasters that happen in Akira. Tetsuo is an example of what that quest for knowledge truly does. It gives way to individuals using the power that comes with that knowledge to use that very same power for evil, for chaos, for revenge. Tetsuo's gift is unbounded comprehension of the universe itself, reality shifting, space-time shaping abilities. Of course, that power within itself is too great to contain for a mere human to handle, and Tetsuo pays for it. Like the universe itself, he expands and expands, explodes and mutates, chaotically transforming into an orderly whole, a singularity. With the power of the universe, the infinite knowledge of everything that is within existence itself, transforms Tetsuo into his own universe. The power of God, the knowledge of eternity, is not something a biological animal can simply wield without imploding. Like water pressure, give it enough time, and the deeper you go, the easier it is to snap, to evaporate, like you never existed to begin with. That power is what caused the great cataclysms in Neo-Tokyo. The power is too great. Dissecting that power was too much for the world to handle. Too much for the little boy, Akira, to handle without extreme energy output. It's a story about mishandling the essence of our world, mana. A concept many of us can't and will never be able to understand. Some things simply can't be understood, and if we push and push towards an answer for our questions, it's likely all we'll find are the horrors God wills our protection from, the demons we bestow upon ourselves, the knowledge that He and He alone should wield. I remember while watching this again, it reminded me of the structure of a kaiju film. Tetsuo standing in for whatever monster the world throws at us, but like all great monsters, Tetsuo's struggle is not just external. The true monster in this kaiju-centric viewpoint is the essence of the universe itself. That is the thing enabling the madness. That knowledge, that desire to wield mana, the flow of all that is what destroys Neo-Tokyo. Existential ideas have always horrified me, which is why I'm so fascinated by them. They terrify me to the core. You can have all the blood in the world, but when instead of guts and gore, your concepts are the horror, it excites me to no end. This is the storytelling I love. This is the theming I love. This is the kind of story I live for and live to make someday.